Join me today as I speak with Jim Ohneck, CEO of Epoch Lasers. Jim has developed an amazing technology for pain modulation and even more exciting products to come in the near future.
Very good. Okay. So when it comes to like the competitive lasers that are on the market, there's key differentiators between your laser and what they can do, correct? And does that have to do with the power of the laser itself, or what really sets it apart?
So a couple things with the power, certainly. The way the optical train is set up is different. So the way we set up our laser is so that the power density of the laser is equal across the whole surface space of where you're applying it. And this is very, very important because it makes the energy being put into the body very predictable. So that's part of what we do. We also have a divergent beam, which sets us apart, and that's a safety thing. If the patient has any problem, you can back that wand away, and the laser energy drops very fast. And that's a safety. It's a class 4 laser. So from a safety standpoint, that's something that we build in as well. And of course, there's pre-programmed protocols that come from 20 years of experience of this development. And that would be something that most systems do today. They put in some kind of pre-programmed protocols, but our system was developed from the cellular level up, and so with that, decades of experience of treatments, and this is being a 5th generation device, it's a very well developed, and the protocols work very, very well.
Right. And so you mentioned this sort of at the beginning, but you have the data and you know that there's not any harm that's being caused by the laser, but it's making the penetration that others potentially are not, right? So
exactly, that's what's great. The laser doesn't really have any reason or any area where it can do harm in. So it's safe to use. The worst that happens is that maybe it doesn't work for the given patient, but no, it doesn't cause harm.
right. Okay. So when you're comparing this to some of the alternative therapies like TENS units or something like that, this is far beyond being able to penetrate and cause clinical benefit, right?
Yeah, devices like the TENS unit give a very surface, amount, or like a hot water bottle. It can help reduce pain for a very short period of time, but it doesn't necessarily heal. And here you have the laser, which can not only reduce the pain, but it's actually stimulating the body to heal the tissue.
Right.
And so this is the differentiation. So yeah, a little electrical stimulation may help with the pain for a short-term duration, but the laser over several treatments will actually help eliminate the pain and actually help heal the area that's damaged. Within reason, of course. It's not going to reset a bone by itself, but it's going to help heal the area that's damaged. And that will thus help get rid of the pain on a more permanent basis, not just temporarily.
And where is there application for the, we talked about post-operatively. Are there recommendations for a waiting period? Is this like next, you have a total hip replacement or something like that? It could be used pretty quickly afterwards, or do you have to have a significant amount of healing before you could utilize it?
No, well, a couple things to point out is you can't use it if you've had a steroid injection.
Okay.
So you have to wait 2 weeks if you've had a steroid
2 weeks after steroid injection. Okay.
Because they conflict. The laser will diminish the use of the steroid.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the steroid will actually diminish the penetration of the lasers. No, you could laser a big toe or an ankle if somebody's had a steroid injection in their hand, but you definitely don't want to laser over the area that's had the injection.
The actual area. Okay.
So that's something to consider. And in terms of post-surgical, the stitches have to be out. So you're looking at least 2 weeks probably. Okay. So I'd say minimum two to 4 weeks after the surgery is done. Depends on the type of surgery, but at least 2 weeks you want to start to give things time to settle and correct. And then you can actually, when you started that 2 to 3 weeks after surgery, can actually help with the scar tissue and help with the healing.
Awesome. Okay. And so there's really, from what you're saying, I mean, obviously the steroid piece, but there's really no like contraindications or patient types you do not want to use this laser with, correct?
I wouldn't use it on a pregnant woman.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just from a liability standpoint, not from a to harm standpoint, but just from a liability standpoint. So that would be a contraindication. If there's patient is on certain types of drugs, most of the older drugs like statins are very light sensitive. You can use it, but you should be cautious about it because they're light sensitive and this is light. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. So those would be the kinds of things that you'd want to steer clear of.
Okay, well, that makes total sense. So, Jim, when did you guys launch the laser, this particular laser? How long has it been on the market?
Yeah, so this particular version, the fifth generation's been on the market. I would say we launched generation 4.5. The predecessor to this was launched in the fall of 2018, right before COVID hit.
Okay.
And then we, over time, we really listened to the market and the consumers and the people that use the device as well. And so we always have a constant, improvement program. So we've upgraded the laser with a little bit new user interface, but the specifications are the same specifications of the one in 2018. It's the 20 watts.
Okay.
So the calls are the same. And so this has been on the market, you could say, since 2018.
Okay. And so where are you at with your distribution of the product? Do you guys have, how are you getting your information and your name out there? Do you have a sales force? Do you, work directly with anyone to have market penetration and for folks to know about your product?
No, a little bit, yes. I mean, internationally, we work with distributors, but here domestically, we have a small sales team. And we have somebody on the West Coast, somebody in Billings and Boise, and then somebody in Michigan, and somebody in New Jersey. But we really would like to get a larger organization or distributors in areas to get more coverage. It does take boots on the ground. I know everyone thinks you can do it all by web sales, but a $25,000 device, most of the people that use it want to try it. And so you need a human to go out there and do the demonstrations. We would certainly be looking at having distributors that can help us out in cities. There's a lot of great cities that have some interest. We've got a lot of leads, and our little team of 4 people just can't cover all of them.
It's a lot, yeah. So, Jim, I know, we've chatted a little bit offline and just the need, like you said, the need for maybe a distribution outlet or folks that maybe have some relationships with facilities and or surgeons that are performing some of the cases that, their patients could really benefit from quicker healing and reduced likelihood of needing oral pain medication and that kind of thing post-operatively. So, I just wanted to kind of address that because that's a lot of times the audience that's tuning into our podcast here are medical distributors that are specifically, like I said, in that, implant space. So certainly I think, and maybe you can elaborate on this, but I certainly think there could be some synergy there with your laser specifically in helping these patients heal and have really good outcomes. I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what the surgeons and the facilities really want. So,
yeah, one good area is so early on, we did a study, a post-lumbar fusion study.
Huh?
And we monitored, we had it was a blinded study, so we had a control group and the group that actually got the laser, but everybody thought they were getting the laser. And in the group that was getting a laser, we saw a really good improvement in the pain reduction, a much faster pain reduction after surgery.
Huh?
And so this was good, and the lifestyle scores were also higher. And, the people that got the laser, their pain didn't really scale back up. The people that didn't get the laser, so many months after surgery, they started to have discomfort and some pain increase again. And so from a healing perspective, after a major surgery like that, where they're putting in a cage or hardware in the back, this really can help.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome. I know I can speak directly. Not myself. My mom had one. So anything that could have helped or sped that up would have been great. So with that being said, when you're thinking like, future goals for your company or, new developments, what are you envisioning? This being more in, like you said, wellness clinics and maybe hospital settings or, any kind of physical therapy facilities. What's your real, goal moving forward?
So couple one, we want to increase the awareness of our brand. We
Yeah.
certainly have a goal to do that. And I think as we talked earlier, we have to sell the science before we can sell the product. So we have to continue to get information out there that help people understand how the light can help. And that doesn't mean just to the general public, but it means to doctors as well. Well, how does the light really affect the healing? So we want to try to push that information out there. And we want to grow the company both in terms of continuing to push the limits of what the device can do, use other wavelengths that can help with other things in the body. We have a good basis of knowledge of what each wavelength can do within the body and how it penetrates. So, push more on that. We have a really good new product introduction standpoint. And then look at some other maybe energy types of healing products as well that work synergistically along, with the laser. So, build out the brand and let Epoch Lasers become a household name and let it be a recognized brand in the medical industry and also within the general public. So we look towards actually continuing to develop our ancillary home devices as well, based on the same base light science technology.
I was going to ask that. What were your plans with the in-home devices, and what are the limitations of those? They're obviously not the same class of laser, but
right. The home devices are good, but you use them for longer and more often. So you can use our Helios 980. You can use it every day. I have people that that bought it, that use it, and they'll say, just whatever aches that day, I use when I'm having my coffee. And so that it could be used like that. Or people will use it to solve a particular problem, and it may take 2 to 3 weeks, but they get results. I just got a great text yesterday from somebody that said they've used it every day now for 2 weeks, and their problem is gone, and they're just extraordinarily happy. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
so
so certainly it's good.
Yeah, I mean, could this be just from, I know we're talking really general in terms of chronic pain, like arthritis and that kind of thing, folks with Lyme disease, anything that like aches and pains?
Aches, pains, inflammation, the home device helps just like the laser. Just takes more treatments and longer treatment times, but you're in your home, so you're not really under schedule. You can do it when you're having your coffee. You can do it when you're watching the TV or watching the news.
So I wonder if would the treatment regimen involve a clinician recommending a home device and concomitant therapy in the facility as well? Like, would they do both potentially?
Yes, and that's quite common actually. Quite a few of the people that use our laser they can sell the home device to their patients as well. And the patient can take it home and use it in between. Patients can't always get in on the right schedule for the treatments, so they have something they can use at home. And, but a lot of times if they're coming in with chronic sciatica, you want to give them the boost of doing a few laser treatments first. Then when they're to a certain level, you can give them the home device if they now continue to use this.
Right. Okay. And so do you have like a general price point for the home device? I know we talked about, the facility one, but...
The home device sells for $599.
Very reasonable. Yeah. Okay. I just love that you're offering, anything non-invasive that we can do to help these folks. Obviously you're treating various patient types, but especially if they've undergone a very invasive surgery, for example, having a way to expedite that healing is just extremely valuable. So I love it.
Yeah, great. Yep.
Well, I think we could probably talk all day about patient types and what makes your lasers so amazing. But what I'd like to do is just kind of wrap up our podcast with a little bit of info for the folks that may be listening that maybe have some interest in I'll post some information below that maybe want to get in touch with you directly or with the company. I don't know if it would be you yourself, but in terms of, hey, I have a facility that I think could really benefit from this. What's the best way to reach out to you for that?
They can certainly call. They can call me if they want it. My number is 440-785-2298.
Okay.
440-785-2298. Our headquarters is in Cleveland, Ohio. They can send me an email at jim.ohneck, OHNECK, at Epoch, EPOCH, lasers, LASERS.com. Or they can go on our website, www.epochlasers.com. And they can send an email through that website if they want. And also, there's lots of product information and technical information and scientific information on the website as well.
Very good. Okay, amazing. Well, like I said, this kind of thing is really exciting, and just hearing about alternative therapies that are out there and getting your information and your solution in front of the right folks. I think it's like you said, you're a small team, so if anybody listening and tuning in has some opportunity there, I think it makes a lot of sense. Our business and Telelogic, we're based out of Ohio, so we certainly have some presence here with some of our listeners, but you would be able to help. I know you mentioned even outside the country, but anything in the States as well, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a small team, but we hopefully can expand that team, maybe through distributors, but we provide the training that comes with the machine. We don't charge extra for the training.
Yeah.
The better people are trained, the more successful the outcomes will be.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a win-win. So, okay, amazing. Well, Jim, I've enjoyed our conversation. Like I said, folks, there's a lot more information on Jim and his lasers. We just can't fit it all into a 30-minute podcast, but we will certainly put some links below the recording, and reach out to Jim if you have any interest or questions further. So I really appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much as well.
Bye-bye, guys. Okay, so we're good. And I'll edit all of that. And what I'll do, like the beginning, I didn't make it real formal, if you noticed, because what I'll do is it'll just be kind of like a fly-in video with your name and, first and last name, company, all that good stuff. So we'll brand it and make it look really nice. And then I'll get it to you.
Great. And so are we allowed to use it and put it out on our social media channels as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that would be great. And then sometimes it takes a few days for me to get these edited, but as soon as it's completely edited, I'll get it to you. What I like to do, and what I also recommend for folks like yourself, is instead of publishing the entire podcast, is like the little snippets of it is really what, it's hard to get people's attention for 20, 30 minutes. So I will also send you like some clips of it that might make sense for your social or website too.
Yeah, that's good. Then we can do little reels and things like that. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I think this was a good conversation, and I think just enough for them to maybe spark some interest in what you're doing specifically for some non-invasive, help, because this is something that even in the foot and ankle space, my husband, this is something that, he goes into the journal clubs with the physicians, and they're just patient outcome, and, readmittance into the hospital, and anything they can do to help with that is always going to be of interest. So, yeah,
treating the foot neuropathies, or people that have had surgery on their feet because they've, dropped stuff on their feet and broken all the little bones. There's a lot of bones in the foot. And so people that get swelling in their feet and their ankles, laser can be used with all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. And one thing that I kind of actually forgot to touch on, but we discussed, was like the oncology piece as well, right? So with the chronic pain that just comes.
Yeah, it's probably okay we didn't go down that path.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to make any claims that,
Right.
I get it. We talked about that. You don't want any accidental things to happen to you, right?
Right, exactly.
We shrink and eliminate cancer tumors. I love it.
Yep.
Amazing. Well, thanks for your time, Jim. I know that you're wearing a lot of hats and you're very busy. So thanks for hopping on. I think, hopefully there's some ROI for you in the time that you spent chatting with me.
Great. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully, it was okay and it made sense, and my answers made sense. So it seems
I
like
think
it's
so. I've realized that I was overthinking a lot when it comes to the podcast, and we just sit down and talk, right? And then I can put some bells and whistles on it and make it look even better. But at the end of the day, it's what we're saying and just getting the info out there. So
yeah, great.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jim. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.